year 2077, the regional nation-state that had until then helped maintain world order on Earth collapsed, and in its wake, a planetary government emerged to rule over mankind. To resolve the disputes, riots, and struggles that periodically erupted around the globe, WSSS was formed, separate from regular government organizations.
Robotica was developed by Micronet and published by SEGA way back in 1995, the year the Saturn launched. It was one of the very first Saturn exclusives and has completely faded into obscurity. That's mainly because it is a highly repetitive corridor shooter. You do the same thing over and over and over again. Each stage is broken up into the exact same gameplay. You make your way from one room to a corridor to another room, looking for a gate key, and then you search for the stage's exit gate. As you advance, some of the objectives change ever so slightly. For example, maybe forcing you to destroy a power station, or maybe they shut the lights off and kind of make you have to look for a computer terminal in order to reactivate the lights. But that's about as advanced as it ever gets. You can also spend time trying to find computer terminals which reveal a stage's entire map, but much like turning on the lights, they're not required for progression. Just find a gate key and hightail it out of there. There are 30 stages in the whole game, and I've never been able to complete all of them because I just get so bored with the repetitive gameplay, even though I appreciate what SEGA was trying to do with this game. You play as a mech who has 4 distinct weapons available: the Vulcan, laser, homing missile, and punching arm. Each of the weapons can be upgraded several times as you progress through the game. You also have access to generator abilities, which all use the same energy. These include Refresh, which replenishes your shield strength, Plasma Barrier, which acts as a secondary shield, Blaze Laser, which destroys all the enemies in the room you're in, and a Hover Jet, which allows you to glide over energy plates on the ground and avoid taking damage. To be honest, I pretty much always keep the Plasma Barrier or Refresh active when I play the game. Perhaps the best aspect of the game is its storyline, which is far too convoluted and long to go into here. The short version is that you're an elite pilot of a mech that is on a mission to find the heart of the Daedalus space station and destroy it. It feels somewhat like a Terminator story, what with Skynet and, going up against humanity and all that. But really, it just gives you an excuse to be on the space station and going from one stage to the next, or one floor to the next. Much to my surprise, movement in the game is excellent, and the controls are tight and responsive. That's really shocking, considering this is played with the D-pad. Normally, movement in first-person shooters like this are a bit wishy-washy, but here everything is truly responsive. Graphically, Robotica shows its age in every way possible. It's dark, which is supposed to be moody, but it's also a means to limit the draw distance. Textures are alright, but repeat far too often, and that's ultimately what brings down the entire game, the repetition. You run through the exact same corridors over and over again, facing the same enemies and looking at the exact same walls. By the time you hit the 4th stage, you pretty much know what to expect for the rest of the game. Sure, colors might slightly change, but really guys, you cannot tell the difference between, for example, the 4th stage and the 22nd stage. And that's all to say without mentioning the sputtering frame rate. Eugh. I can at least say that the audio is decent, featuring ambient noises and sound effects. The music is repetitive, much like the rest of the game though. Robotica, or Daedalus as it's known in Japan, is a decent game for a bargain bin pickup. And that's pretty much what I did. I saw the game for $4, I still have the sticker price on it, and picked it up many years ago and never finished it because it was just too darn repetitive. I did like the atmosphere, and I still do, but they really needed to spice things up in order to keep the player's interest. As it is now, it fails to capitalize on its tight controls and interesting storyline. And it's a damn shame too, because with some more variety, this could have been something really special for the Saturn. But alas, it wasn't meant to be.